Ryan here, Ion Capital Solutions. Today I'm here with Rahiem. Rahiem, thanks so much for being with us today.
Hey, thank you so much.
You got it. You got it. So, Rahiem is not actually in our program yet, but he has been following along on YouTube. He is an active business loan broker. And from what he tells me, he's been getting some great content from us on YouTube that's helped him and assisted him in his loan broker journey. He's excited about actually getting started with us. And given the different types of videos that we put on the channel up till now, I thought there are people that are interested in our program but are not ready to get started, or perhaps are just kind of following along and subscribing and watching but not ready to make the move, right? And so why not hear from somebody in that position? We'll talk
Mhm.
today, and then you can hear about the future, about after he joins and what the experience is like. And that way you can get an honest accounting from somebody perhaps just like yourself, as opposed to hearing me talk about it, right? So anyway, again, thanks so much, Rahiem. I really appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about yourself before you found my channel, what you're currently doing, how you decided to get into the loan broker space, and then kind of, ultimately how you found me and all that.
hmm Well, thank you again, Ryan, for everything that you do. That's what I want to first start off and say. How I got into this is because I've been a sales consultant for the last 7 years. I've been in the car industry for about five, and I've been a finance manager for about a total of 3 years. And being stuck in the office all day, working from 9 to almost 6, 9 to 8, 9 to 9, and just being stuck there, I wanted to do the same thing that I do as a finance manager, but from home. And I sold a car to a business loan broker who, I mean, this guy made a lot of money by the month, and I'm talking about a lot. So I asked him what he do, and he said he do what I similar to what I do, just in the business world.
Right.
And that's what gave me the interest on, that's when I learned that it was more than just being stuck in a car dealership. So my goal has always been to run my own company. That's one, and two, I've always wanted to chase after this financial freedom dream that I had, so I could spend more time with my fiance, my son, and travel the world, and without having to be stuck at a desk all day. So, uh, what made me go more into depth about it was when I learned about what loan brokers do. I seen a video on YouTube which directed me to another video, which was yours. And as I was watching the training and watching the stuff that you had that was free, I thought I took it upon myself to just go ahead and figure out, okay, well, how do I get started? So when I looked up loan brokering, business loan brokering, they had like a lot of these, trainings and different places you can actually like get signed on with other brokers, and then they'll teach you what to do. But some of their stuff seemed real shady, so it was like I was always commenting into your videos back to back, trying to learn the stuff. And I know I was supposed to pay for the education, and again, I thank you so much, Ryan, because you trained me even without me having to pay for the education. So you guys, Ryan, he's doing it big. He teaches, and he doesn't sugarcoat nothing. So you taught me some things, and I took it upon myself to use it with the brokerage that I partnered with,
Mm-hmm.
and I started getting leads. So, and then on top of it, I'm a wholesaler in real estate. I wholesale real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I have a system that allows me to go and, contact different investors, and I can like email them and text them. So what I do is I put together a script saying, well, we offer MCAs, business loans, real estate investing loans, and I'll put it in an entire paragraph and I just send it out. So that's how I was getting my leads for free. I would just text people and reach out to them and send, and eventually people would either call me back. They would share the paragraphs in my post that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started actually getting, started closing on the deals, I was paying for the marketing, which Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and that's when I started growing from there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Paying $1 a day for ads is extremely irritating because you're paying money and you may get some bad leads to good ones, and some of the good ones are not as serious. So then when you up the money up to like $5 a day, sometimes $10, $20 a day, now you're starting to get some more leads and more phone calls, but then you got to dish out away from the good people to the bad ones, because if you don't consult with them, you're going to waste a lot of time dealing with people that can't actually get approved.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those people don't even have bank accounts. So we'll start with that. But overall, I mean, it's been a great experience. Just learning everything I have. I funded over 25 different businesses on my own. I partnered up with about four different lenders on my own, and I just started learning the ropes based off of what you had available online for free.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I want to, all the money. I'm not gonna lie, I spent it all having fun, traveling, and doing things because when I became a loan broker, it gave me the freedom to escape from the BS and the stuff that I've struggled in. So, even though that things are slow now, and that's because I got to pick my money back up and get back into marketing more. I've been like sick like for the last couple of months. So as soon as I start to feel better, I want to get back in it. But when I hit my next deal, I plan on paying for the education so that way I can learn everything that like how what we was training on. I want to learn more.
Yeah.
How to close these deals better, how to man. And when I first met you, I ended up renting me an office downtown Cleveland, and come to find out, I didn't even need to pay this freaking $800 a month at an office when because I was dealing with people outside of Cleveland. Like I was dealing with people in New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, and Texas, and I'm like, man, if I could do this from home in my home office, why do I need to pay $800 at a freaking office for?
Exactly.
Like I had a sign on it that said KR Funded Services, and I had a what do you call it? An administrator who I was paying $15 an hour for, and I absolutely didn't need none of this stuff.
Yeah. It's so true. And that's, I think a lot of people are kind of at the precipice of getting started, and the biggest mistake I see out there, and there's other programs that will push you towards this, is building a business right away. Right? And so you think, okay, everybody thinks brick and mortar, right? If I own a business, therefore I need a building and I need a staff and I need all these things. And no, you don't need any of those things in this space. You need a phone, a computer, and an internet connection. And we're living in a day and age where we have all these things, right? We're walking around with that device in our pocket. And so it's important to understand that you want to start by learning the business and business operations and operate in an efficient way. I mean, let's talk for a moment. Leads. You had mentioned leads and buying leads and the cost of that and cold calling all day. It's expensive, right? And at the end of the day, if you understand how to generate leads online for free, well, obviously that's a lot better. If you're not paying rent for a space to work in, that's a lot better. If you're not buying expensive CRMs and building a website, doing all these different things, all of a sudden, all these costs that you thought you needed right out of the gate, you suddenly realize, wait a minute, I don't actually need any of these things to get started. And you can focus on really learning the business. And so obviously, with you not joining the program, you're winging it, right? You're giving it your best shot, and you have finance background and experience in a different industry, and you're able to take that, right, and be able to ultimately help guide you through this. And you can speak a little bit of the language, and on the real estate side, you understand the wholesaling side. And so those are good things. But some of the bits and pieces you're missing is the qualification, the underwriting side as it relates to these products, right? And having a quality marketing plan is extremely important. You want it to be both cost and time efficient, right? All of the different funding products, right? You funded some deals on your own, which is awesome. And that's a testament to you and your work ethic and your abilities. But broadening your horizons and having access to over 150 lenders offering more than 65 unique funding products, that's a game changer. I mean, you're in a totally different echelon in the eyes of the client and can help them in so many different ways. And that's the next step and the next level, right? And so I think it's interesting because I meet people who want to get involved in this space, Rahiem, all the time. And lots of people experience different results. And they'll ask me, your average students, how much money do they make when they get started? How long does it take them to make money, right? And the true answer is, the honest answer is, it's different for everybody, because it's the people that hustle and work and don't make excuses. People like yourself who don't even need to join my program, but right away you're jumping into the trenches, you're getting it done, and then with some experience, you're investing in yourself to further improve and get to the next level. those are the people that make money. Those are the people that succeed because they persevere, right? And there's other people who like to stand at the edge of the diving board, right? And kind of look in the pool, maybe stick their toe in the pool, but they don't want to jump into the deep end, right? It's like,
Right.
you got to get in there. You got to get in there. And at a certain point, you also have to say to yourself, okay, why reinvent the wheel, right? I need to find somebody who's achieving the results that I want to achieve, copy what they do, and I'll get those same results. And what's pretty cool about my YouTube channel, I'm no big YouTuber, I don't pretend to be, but I give a lot of free training and content away to help people like yourself get started. And then, like you just said, you're working on deals, you're getting commissions in, your next commission check, now you have the money to join our program, you're going to hop in, level up, and do even better. But at the end of the day, what's the constant? What's the magic? It's you. You're doing the work. You're doing what it takes to get there. And most importantly, you're taking action, right? You're not just sitting there idle. You're getting it done. You're creating a plan for yourself and you're motivated. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I would say to anybody that wants to succeed in this space is you have to take action. You have to do it. You can't just sit there and talk about it and think about it. You need to make moves, you know, and that's what it takes. And anybody who works for themselves and is an entrepreneur, that's what they're all about, action, you know. And so that's why I like you, Rahiem, because you're that type of person. You're just hungry. You want to get it done. You're willing to do it on your own, but you're also willing to take a step back, be humble, and invest in yourself. And I just think that that's valuable. So I'm excited for you to join the program and get in there and start getting some results and let people kind of see one side of the coin and how you're doing, and then the other side after you've joined, you know. So tell me a little bit about your experience up to this point. You've funded some deals. You're working with some clients. What products have you been working with?
So far, I partnered with lenders that's been doing MCAs, lines of credit. The lenders that does those things, some lenders I have, they specialize mostly in MCAs and then offer different MCA products with different terms and with different rates. Now, the ones that offer multiple, they specialize more towards lines of credit and business credit cards.
Yeah.
I just now recently partnered with a couple lenders that they only deal with hard money loans, construction loans. They deal with bridge loans and reconsolidating investing loans. So I'm new to that only because I've only done 3 big real estate deals. And then I did one construction where they actually had to build everything from the ground up. So I'm still new to the real estate side, but more on the MCAs and the lines of credit and the business credit cards. I funded more.
Yeah, gotcha. And that's great. I mean, you're already in the game. You're already funding deals. You're already familiarizing yourself. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you're walking through the woods and you want to get to the other end of the tree line, right? If you're there by yourself, you may get lost. You may stumble. You may fall. You may take a wrong turn. But if you have somebody who's very familiar, they can guide you and get you from A to B quickly. And so for a lot of people that want to get started in this space, yes, can you do it on your own? Sure, I'm not placing limitations on anybody. But if you want to find success quicker, or if you're struggling in certain areas, or you just want to level up in certain areas, the best way to do that is to invest in yourself. I mean, we're telling our kids to go to college, aren't we? We're telling them to focus on their education and work hard, and then they go out and get a job and get experience. It's the same thing for us when we step into a new space. We need to educate ourselves. We need experience. We need to surround ourselves with people who are in the space active and succeeding, right? And if we do that, we'll be able to expedite that journey. We'll be able to get there that much quicker. And think about the different clients you're talking to right now. I mean, listen, anybody watching this who's got a little bit of experience in this space has heard about MCAs, merchant cash advance. Mm-hmm. And you certainly have talked to one, if not two, pissed off customers who don't want a merchant cash advance, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people, they'll always be like, look, man, I need a loan and I don't want no MCAs. Whatever other products you got, I'll take it, but no MCAs. Like, I had a guy in California who, I guess he had 3 MCA loans, but how I was able to get them done was because I had to put them in my credit repair So this is where sometimes as a broker you got to think outside the box, right?
Yep.
That's something you used to say in the very beginning. So what I did was when I started my brokerage, I partnered with another company that's a white label company called Nove Money Services, which they offer all the credit repair and business credit repair. So I partnered with them so that way I can sell their services and still make a commission for it. So the guy who he had 3 MCAs. His credit was about a 600. All I had to do was help him get his credit to a 630, and I was able to get him approved with a lender guarantee. So because of the amount of deals I've did with this lender, they said that I'm good for bringing them deals. They'll go ahead and get this one funded if I can help him get to a 630 credit score.
Right.
And the amount of money that he was looking to get, they said it was doable. So when I put him in the credit program, he stayed in it for about 2 months. After that, we was able to get him funded of 50 grand.
That's great. That's fantastic. And
It was a lot of credit though, because the MCA he already had 3 MCAs and couldn't get him a fourth one.
yeah. So, and that's not a unique circumstance. In fact, anybody who's involved in this space, excuse me, the merchant cash advance space, which a lot of people sort of operate with the blinders on and think that's all alternative finance is, and they don't realize there's so many other products out there, is that they come across a lot of clients that are in that situation. Imagine for a second if you could talk to a client like that who needs that 50 grand, but also needs to pay off those MCAs and is tight on cash and say, listen, I know you're used to getting something within 6 months and a daily payment at 40 or 50% interest, and you're tired of that. But what if I could give you a 3 to 5 year term with interest only payments and a balloon at the end, and it being a monthly payment frequency? Would that be better for you? What if I could get you something over 10 years, government backed? What if I could get you interest only credit cards, right, for up to 21 months? Right? Wouldn't that be better than a merchant cash advance? And there's a lot of brokers who just are not familiar with these different types of products. And that may not be any fault of their own. Maybe they work for a merchant cash advance lender or brokerage, and so that's really all they know. But the client's going to totally change the way that they look at you. And suddenly they're willing to listen. And there are businesses that want to leverage their invoices for factoring or, PO financing or AR financing or whatever it may be. Maybe they want equipment financing, right? Or maybe you have banged up businesses that need consolidations or debt restructuring, right? Or whatever it may be. And there's other directions to go. But if you're just Bob MCA, just trying to push another merchant cash advance down their throat, they're in trouble. And so if you listen to Rahiem here, he was still able to figure out how to think outside the box and help the client to get him to a place where they could get more money, in this case, a line of credit. But there's a lot more options to a client because his long-term problems is those MCAs and the cycle of having to borrow MCAs, right? He needs to get out of that. That's why his credit was banged up to begin with, right?
Right.
And so, imagine, I like to say to people a funny analogy, I'm Batman. I'm in Gotham City. I have my utility belt and I need to have all the different gadgets for every type of scenario. That's your loan products, right? And imagine if you had 65 plus loan products that you could take advantage of and help your clients. Think of all the things you could do. Even on the investment side, everyone thinks hard money, purchases. Mm-hmm. They don't realize there's transactional funding for wholesalers. There's refinancing, whether it's 30-year mortgages, ARM options, cash out. There's new construction loans, portfolio loans. There's bridge and gap funding, exposure lines of credit. There's all kinds of products on the side of the construction companies themselves, the guys who are actually doing the rehabs. Suddenly you can do business with everybody and stack multiple products together. It's just a game changer, But if it were a one-trick pony, you can't get that done. Were you going to say something, Rahiem?
Yeah, I do want to say too. What I also recommend to any other broker that's listening to this is that what they should do when they're trying to learn the product, because the best way, like, you can sit there and study all the products, but when you got, like me, I have 10 different lenders. So let's say if I haven't done a specific product in a while, what I'll do is right before I'm talking to the client, I get on, like when I have my laptop, I have my MacBook. I'm waiting on my new one to come in the mail. But what I usually do is I bring up my MacBook and I have the products in front of me. So that way, as I'm like consulting with the client and I already used the sales experience from it, Now I'm just putting the sales experience with the consulting experience, and I'm acting like that. I'm looking at the product as I'm reading it to them to sound more professional. Like I know what I'm talking about the product, even though it's too many products to remember.
Sure.
I still know what I'm talking about because the main keys to the products that's here are the lines of credit MCAs, and then whatever that's extra, I'm gonna just go ahead and go into those depending on what the client has said that they already either had or what they're not interested in or what they are interested in.
Absolutely. That's a really good point that you just made, and I want to elaborate on it because it's going to point out some things that people have not yet thought about. And this is one of the areas you're going to be able to level up when you join Ion. So imagine having a dozen funding products and a dozen lenders, and you're talking to a client, and the client wants to know about the different funding products. And if you have this network of a bunch of different lenders, right, ultimately, which lender you want to go to, what makes them different? Are the rates different? Are the terms different, right? What's the difference between these things? Imagine having in grid format all of your lenders side by side with all of their criteria side by side. Everything from lien policies, judgments to loan amount caps, minimums and maximums, to rates and terms and payment frequencies, FICO requirements, whatever, submission instructions, how they compare to each other, how you get paid and points and all those different things. Imagine having all of that laid out side by side for those lenders. And the same thing with your products, having product boards laid out for different tiers of customers, A paper, B paper, C paper, D paper, and so on. When you talk to clients, just like you put, you want to sound professional, you want to be knowledgeable, right? You can't really do that if you have to rifle through a packet and try and figure out and go to the next one and the next one. Imagine a client having to sit through you going through that. But if you had this one sheet in front of you where you just examine the column and the row and you just quickly move, imagine how educated you come across to the client, how deep your knowledge base is, how professional you sound, and most importantly, how different you sound compared to your competitors, the other brokers. That is a massive leap forward. Imagine having those resources, having over 150 lenders in your network, having over 65 unique funding products at your disposal, with you having full knowledge of how all that stuff works and truly being able to help clients in multiple ways diagnose their issues, calculate affordability, assess risk, spot fraud if need be, right? Be able to assess the situation, address these issues, highlight them, provide working solutions to them. Man, that's impressive to the client. And most brokers don't have a clue how to do any of that stuff. So it's great to have success, but we never want to stop learning and stop growing and stop improving. And really, that's the basis of this call. Rahiem is having success. That's not enough. He has goals. He laid it out. His fiance, his son, he wants to be able to travel the world and own his own company and provide that for his family. You can't do that if you're going to sit idle. You have to constantly level up and improve to get to a place to where you can achieve those goals. And so I'm excited for you. I'm excited to have you aboard. We're going to have you soon, and we're going to come back and take a look and see how you're doing, because you're already finding success. You're clearly cut out for this business, and you've proven that on your own. And so I'm excited with the resources and support behind you to level up where that's going to take you. And we're going to check back in with you, and we're going to see how that went a little bit down the line. So really, really appreciate you doing this and having this call with me. I think it was pretty unique of a conversation, different than what I've had in the past. And so I'm hoping it'll reach some people, right, who may be in a similar position to you.
I do want to say something before we get off too.
Yeah, please do.
It's like the one thing that gives me the drive about this too, like sometimes when I my last big deal I made, like I want to say 40 grand off of, and me and my fiance, we went on a vacation to Cancun, and I ended up closing on another deal while on vacation.
Yeah.
So like I think I was like, I was relaxed. My fiance was asleep, and I sat outside. So in Cancun you got the little outside porch where the pool and everything is. So I'm sitting outside, and this is the first time I've ever done anything like this to make money online. But to actually call the client and say, hey, I'm just doing a follow up call with you to see if you're still in need of this loan. remember we spoke about a week ago. You told me to give you a call at this day. So I'm calling you right now to see if you're still interested. And they tell you, yes, they are. They need the money. And you get them done within 24 to 40. I stayed at this place for a week. I closed this deal in a week. So to make money on vacation after when I just spent $5,000,
Yeah. That's right. That's what's up. You're making that money right back. That's what's cool about this business. I mean, you need your cell phone. That's about it. I mean, yes, you have your computer and yes, you have your spreadsheets and your book, but there's all these apps that you can have integrate with your phone and do your thing. And it's really cool. And I mean, that's what I really enjoy about the business. And I broke away years ago and was able to build my own brokerage and my own business. And I like helping other people do that because I think that the days of people working for somebody for 30 years and collecting a pension, and those days are just over, and everybody wants to be in the business for themselves. And more entrepreneurs are becoming millionaires every day now more than ever before in history. And that's not to say I'm not trying to promise people that they're going to be millionaires if they join my program or become a business loan broker. It's just the truth of what's going on in the world right now. We see it all around us. It's crazy how individuals now are finding financial freedom working for themselves and actually escaping the 9-to-5 grind of, getting stuck in that 5-figure salary range and not being able to break that 6-figure ceiling and beyond, maybe even 7 or 8 figures, right? Because they're stuck in that seat, building somebody else's castle, working for that employer that just is not providing any growth, any opportunity. And who wants to be stuck there? And it's likely if you're watching this video right now, you don't want to be that person anymore. And I'm happy to tell you, I was that person. Rahiem was that person. We found ways to go to work for ourselves and break away from that. But the point that I'm trying to make clear, and I really appreciate, Rahiem, you helping me do that, is it takes work and it takes action. You have to take action. You can't sit idle. You need to believe in yourself, work hard, invest in yourself, and keep growing. Keep networking. That's what it's all about. So if you're sitting there by yourself on the edge of the diving board looking at the water, it's time to just jump in and get in there, because what's the alternative? You're going to be stuck in the same situation you're in right now. And again, if you were happy in that situation, you wouldn't be watching this video. So hopefully this lights a fire under some people's butts, whether they're happy to join my program or they're going off in another direction. It's totally fine. I just want more people to start believing themselves, going into business for themselves, because there are greener pastures, and it's not in that next promotion you're fighting for. It's not in that next job that you're applying for. It's in you branding yourself and believing in yourself, right? And if you're that type of person, I want to know you, because that's my sphere of influence. Those are the people I enjoy. That's the mindset I enjoy. Anyway, Rahiem, thanks, man. Really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome.
Always appreciate you, man.
You got it. You got it, man. We'll check back in with you in a few months after you've been through the program to see how you're doing, see where you've leveled up, and continue on in the journey. All right?
Okay. Also, when we get off, can you send me when you had told me how much the payment plan was by the month, can you send me the down payment and what is the monthly payment, so that way, because I'm waiting on the deal to close.
Sure.
And I want to make sure I take care of this. Once when the deal closes, I want to make sure I take care of this first, and then everything else I got to do.
Yeah. Well, what's great is there's no down payment whatsoever. When you use financing to finance the cost of the tuition of our program, you actually don't have to put any money down. You get a 5-year term. You can pay it back with no prepayment penalty either. So I'll send over the details to you. I'll shoot it over to you. It's not a problem. But yes, I'm happy you brought that up. You can make it very affordable to join our program without having to come out of pocket at all. So,
okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody watching, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. Again, Rahiem, thank you. And we'll catch you in the next video.